Hey guys, wonderhussie here, hanging out on my roof, assessing the poor life choices I've made that have led me to this sad juncture. Okay, it's been real windy lately out here on the outskirts of Death Valley. So windy that a bunch of shingles blew off this piss poor, raggedy ass, sorry excuse of a roof on this sorry excuse of a shack that I call the casita. And I'm not gonna lie, when I first came out here and saw this damage, my first thought was, what the hell were you thinking when you decided to move out here to the middle of nowhere, 40 miles from the closest Home Depot and 100 miles from the nearest roofing repairman? My first instinct was just to go get a can of gasoline and torch the whole thing and watch it go up in flames. But as luck would have it, I was distracted from my despair by a fortuitous voicemail from an acquaintance I made a few summers ago when I was up in northern Nevada shooting a video at a brothel. That's right, a hoe house. Okay, if you've been watching for a while, you might remember few summers ago, I think it was 2023, I went up and did a video called The Best Little Hot Spring in Nevada, I think, because this particular brothel has a hot spring on the property. Anyway, the guy who owns the brothel was calling to ask if I might be interested in buying the brothel license. Okay, it's a long story. The guy owns the building, but he can't operate the brothel himself, and so he was looking for someone to take over the brothel. And, you know, what with this roof disaster going on, I thought, oh my God, is this Deus Ex Machina? Is this fate speaking to me? Like, wonderhussie, get out of Death Valley and get thee up to northern Nevada. There's a brothel waiting for you. A brothel with a hot spring and no busted roof. But believe it or not, I'm not such a dummy that I would make two stupid life-altering decisions within the span of 5 years. I am well aware of the fact that I don't have the right temperament to run a business, let alone a whorehouse. I don't know if I can say that word on YouTube. I better just stick to my preferred terminology, hoe house, which the Google censor doesn't seem to recognize. Anyway, I don't have the temperament to run a house of women. Not only that, but yeah, this brothel does have a natural hot spring on the grounds, and it would be, oh my God, it would be an amazing YouTube channel. Like, you've seen Ghost Town Living, now watch Hoe House Living. So I love the idea of it, but I don't love the reality of running a business living in northern Nevada where it snows in the winter and is infested with Mormon crickets in the summer, which you might remember from the video I made there. I soaked in that hot spring even though there were Mormon crickets crawling all around the edges. But I did consider it for a hot second or three, and I posted about it on my Facebook page. Okay, if you follow me on Facebook, well, you may have seen the post. I thought, oh, even though I'm not seriously considering, taking over this brothel, this would be a good thing to post on Facebook because it will generate a lot of, what do they call that? Engagement. And boy, howdy, did it generate engagement. I got emails coming in from all sides. Hey, wonderhussie, are you gonna really buy that brothel? I wanna work there. I wanna help you train the bouncers. I wanna help you train the ladies. Oh, I got all kinds of offers from people who thought I was seriously gonna go buy this brothel and leave Death Valley for the frozen wastes of northeastern Nevada. Well, no, I hate to break this to you, but unfortunately the only wet patch in wonderhussie's future is the kind that my sister very kindly helped me put on the hole in my roof. Although I will say wonderhussie's wet patch is a great name for a brothel. Now, we happen to have some old asphalt shingles down in the Quonset hut and a couple gallons of this roofing tar, AKA wet patch, and well, I was just planning to do a half-assed repair job. I was about to just throw a tarp up here and put some old tires on it and call it a day until the fall when it will be cool enough to hopefully hire somebody to come out here and fix this thing for me. I don't have time to do it now. I'm going on Route 66 next week, you guys. I don't have time to redo the entire roof now. So I thought, okay, I'll just put a tarp on it and some tires. But my sister, say what you will about my sister, but she's no half-asser. We went down to the Quonset, we got out the shingles, we got out the roofing nails, we got out the wet patch, and well, I'm gonna go ahead and say we did more like a 3/4 ass job. And with any luck, it'll hold till the fall when I can get it properly addressed. Realistically, I think I just need to have the whole roof replaced. Oh my God, how much money do I want to keep dumping into this place? I could be running a brothel, never mind. I think it'll be fine for a few months until the fall. I think this 3/4 ass job we did will hold. Although they do say this year is supposed to be a super El Nino, okay? If you know anything about El Nino, it's some weather pattern where some system forms over the Pacific, I think, and it boils down to this is going to be not just an El Nino, but a super El Nino, which means we're supposed to get extra super duper hot temperatures and extra super duper amount of rainfall. And so we might have a really gnarly monsoon. And if that happens, well, I hope Wonderhussey's wet patch stays dry. Ugh. Pardon me, but I need a ranch water. I have been super stressed out lately, and not just because of the roof. I'm stressed out about this Route 66 trip. Okay, I'm filming this video on Sunday. I'm leaving for Route 66. Well, I'm going to post this video on Wednesday, but I'm leaving on Friday. So 2 days after I post this video, 5 days after I shoot this video, after which I still have to edit this video, edit another video, pack for the trip, and figure out how the heck I'm gonna do all this, okay? This is like the trip of a lifetime, you know, something I've always wanted to do. And I'm really lucky to be able to do it with not just Turbo and William and that beautiful Coral Edsel, but also the entire Route 66 caravan. You know, there's gonna be people in that caravan from all these official Route 66 associations from all the various states along the way, and the big Texan steakhouse is gonna be there. There's gonna be all kind of politicians at every stop, and it's gonna be a really big deal. So I'm kind of worried. I guess I'm kind of stressed out. I'm not sure I'm up to the task, okay? How am I gonna film this? My first thought was like, oh, okay, well, maybe I'll just do a video every day, like day 1 of the trip, day 2 of the trip. But I don't think that'll work because I need time to film all this stuff and live. I can't just sit editing the whole time. Also, I think people might get bored. I'm gonna be on the road for, let's see, we're leaving on the 6th and we get to Chicago on the 25th. So what is that, 19 days? That's almost 3 weeks. I think y'all might get Route 66 fatigue if I did 19 Route 66 daily vlogs in a row. Turbo thought I should just film a few shorts every day, you know, do some short videos at the various places that we stop throughout the day, and then do 2 long form videos a week like I do normally. Still keep to my Wednesday and Sunday schedule, but just supplement that with a bunch of little shorts throughout the day. And that makes sense to me. I think I can scrape together enough time to edit 2 weekly videos. They probably won't be as polished as you're used to. Okay, I guess consider this video something of a warning. I opened this and I still haven't drank it. Cheers. Consider this video to be something of a warning that the content I'll be cranking out over the next month is probably not going to be as polished as you're used to seeing here on the Wonderhussey channel. Okay, polish and Wonderhussey are 2 words that you don't normally put in the same sentence, so maybe this is no news to any of you. But I don't know, I'm just kind of worried that I'm not going to be able to keep up with this breakneck schedule and that I'm going to let somebody down. And you can say what you will about me, and there's plenty to say about me. First, the fact that I'm walking around in public in a bikini with a furry microphone between my, well, I was going to say between my tits, but I don't really have any tits, drinking a ranch water, talking to myself. So you can say plenty about me. But one thing you can't say about me is that I'm not a person of my word and that I don't have an excellent, maybe even exceptional work ethic. Okay, I don't like letting people down, including you, the viewer, but also including Turbo. You know, the point of this trip, we've been talking about this for a year now, the point of this trip is supposedly twofold. It's to help Turbo raise money for the Route 66 Economic Revitalization organization that he started in conjunction with his 2 Route 66 museums in Barstow, Victorville. But it's also supposed to help me get more followers. I don't know. When we were first talking about this, Turbo was like, yeah, I got a background in social media marketing. You'll have 1 million followers by the end of this. And I don't know if that's realistic. It took me forever just to get to 300,000. And honestly, do I really care if I get 1 million subscribers or not? I mean, I feel like I'm losing sight of the whole point of this trip, which in the first place was supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be fun to travel Route 66 and stop at all these quirky roadside attractions and weird abandoned gas stations, and God only knows the characters I'm gonna meet along the way. Oh, by the way, you like this koozie? The Desert Life. I got this at that store in Pahrump, the Death Valley Marketplace, my favorite store in Pahrump. They sell all kinds of quirky desert souvenirs, and this is North Face, the North Face logo. I don't know how they get away with stealing these logos and bastardizing them to suit our blighted corner of the country, but hey man, like my other favorite item from the store says, it is what it is. Anyway, like I was saying, I'm conflicted about how to film this thing. I don't think doing a daily vlog is a good idea because it's overkill, but then I don't want to leave anything out because I feel like every detail of every day is going to be really weird, starting with the fact that I'm going to be camping in Santa Monica next Friday. That's right, you heard me right. I'm going to be camping in Santa Monica, which if you know anything about Santa Monica, it's one of the highest dollar real estate areas, highest dollar zip codes in the entire USA. Not to mention very densely congested with traffic and urban development. So how on earth am I going to be camping, you ask? Well, it's a long story. So Turbo very generously is supposedly paying for all our accommodations and fuel on this trip. Well, that was his initial promise. Unfortunately, I think that was before he realized how crazy expensive things were going to be. We've been planning this for a year. A year ago, gas was not as expensive as it is right now. A year ago, we weren't in a war with Iran. But again, it is what it is. So Turbo did book, I think he booked us hotels everywhere from like Barstow to Joliet, Illinois. He just didn't book Chicago or Santa Monica on either end because those are big cities and hotels are kind of pricey. I think he said he tried not to get us really ghetto hotels, motels. He said he tried to stick to the $60 range, which I'm not a snob about motels. If you've been watching my channel, you know, I'll stay just about anywhere. He said he tried to make reservations that had at least a 6.6 star rating, which when I go, I use Orbitz to book all my motels when I'm traveling, and I try to get at least a 7. So I don't know. Again, like I said, I'm not a super duper snob about it. So I'm pretty sure as long as I don't get bed bugs in my beehive wig, I'll survive. But unfortunately, there aren't any $60 hotel rooms, 6.6 rating or above or not, in either Chicago or Santa Monica, or Pasadena for that matter, which is our second night stop. So I don't know what's gonna happen in Pasadena, but when it comes to Santa Monica, I figured I'd be a mensch. I would step up and offer to Turbo, listen, man, let me just pay for the room in Santa Monica. And he very readily accepted because this trip is tapping him out. I think he's spending a lot of his personal money on it, but he's really dedicated to it. I mean, he had no background in Route 66 when he got roped into this whole thing, but then he got talked into buying those museums. And next thing you know, man, he drank the Kool-Aid. He is in the cult. He is truly passionate about preserving this historic road and the little old historic businesses along it. And so he is willing to dig into his pocket and, you know, put his money where his mouth is. So I felt like I would be a real turd not to at least offer to pick up a few nights myself. The only problem is, I mentioned in a video a couple weeks ago that I found somebody who was available and willing to drive me the entire way. So that way I can sit in the passenger seat and work on editing these 3 to 4 shorts and 2 long-form videos that I'm supposed to be cranking out every week while we're on the road, okay? Mumford, you might remember Mumford from some of my videos. Well, Mumford very kindly offered to drive me in his pickup truck. The only thing is, he's got a big ol' F-250 diesel Power Stroke with a camper on the back, okay? You know those truck campers? It's a Lance truck camper, which he thought he would bring in case there happens to be an issue with hotels. Well, guess what? Guess who's camping in the Lance truck camper in Santa Monica? Okay, I'm not kidding you guys. I feel like the Beverly Hillbillies, but I looked all over the place for an affordable motel that was within a reasonable distance of Santa Monica. You know, I have to be at the Santa Monica Pier at 7:30 a.m. next Saturday. That's when the whole caravan is meeting up to kick off the ride. And yeah, I could sleep in and miss it, but what kind of YouTuber would I be if I'm going on this epic road trip and I'm missing out on the start line? I mean, that's just out of the question. I have to be at the Santa Monica Pier at 7:30 in the morning, which means I need to stay somewhere close by. Now, unfortunately, you know, I thought, okay, wonderhussie, don't be cheap. Mumford is very kindly offering to drive his truck and haul you and your costumes around. Creak open your wallet and get a dang hotel. And so I set $300 as my limit. I thought, like, that's extravagant enough. I should be able to find a place for $300 within 20, 30 miles of the Santa Monica Pier. Well, yes, you can. The only downside is there's no parking, okay? Especially no parking for a F-250 with not just a camper on the back, but also he's bringing his motorcycle on the back of that. So altogether, he's like 24 feet long and I think he said like 12 feet high. And unfortunately, none of the motels in the area could accommodate. And trust me, I called around and asked. So then he goes, well, maybe we should just find a campground. And I thought, oh, I actually really like that idea. And so bizarrely, there happens to be this campground RV park right on the beach, about 12 miles south of Santa Monica, near Venice Beach, called Dockweiler RV Park. It's by Dockweiler Beach, and it was only $85 a night, which, okay, for RV, it's full hookups. It's kind of pricey, I guess, but I think our site is literally right on the beach. So it's gonna be a pretty cool experience, even if the whole damn Route 66 trip goes up in smoke. Just camping on the beach in Santa Monica in this random RV park, I feel like is gonna be worth it. And that's why I say, oh my God, I don't wanna miss a thing. Oh my God, listen to me blathering on and on about my stupid first world problems. Nobody cares. The mountains don't care. The greasewood don't care. The sand don't care. The indifferent desert don't care. Let that be a lesson to all of us. You know, let that be a lesson to me especially. Don't care so much. Don't stress so much. Don't worry so much, okay? Big deal. You're not going to be able to be Steven friggin' Spielberg or, well, I don't know. I guess we all do this. We all hold ourselves up to other people in our field that are more successful than us. And so I look at some of these other travel YouTubers, I go, oh, if Ava Zubek was doing this trip, it would be like this and this and this and this. Or, you know, I hold myself to a high standard, and I have to remember that this trip is really just supposed to be about fun, enjoying the magic of Route 66. It's the ultimate road trip, the ultimate American road trip, the ultimate American experience. Driving Route 66 in, or at least with, a classic car and a giant fiberglass steer on a flatbed trailer. I mean, does it get any more fun than that? You don't have to answer that question. Anyway, it is gonna be a lot of fun, and it's important to remember that, but it's not just about fun, and I think that might be why I'm stressing a little bit. Okay, fun definitely is my number one priority, but this whole caravan, these whole 60 cars and this, you know, the big Texan ain't dragging a friggin' flatbed trailer with a giant fiberglass steer on it halfway across the country. just for kicks. It's all about economic revitalization and just boosting these poor, tired little towns along this poor, abandoned highway. You know, there's lots of folks that are still struggling to survive, and some of these places are really iconic and historic, and they shouldn't just be torn down and left to rot away in the sun, as is sadly the case with a lot of these places. But there are conservationists and preservationists that are taking the old neon signs, hoisting them up out of the trash, dusting them off, fixing them up, relighting them. You know, there's a lot going on in the world right now, and a lot of people feel like this is a dark time for America, you know, or dark time for society in general. Everyone's depressed, no one's happy anymore. This could be the chance to bring America's happy back. Okay, I made a video about that once. I want my happy back, I got my happy back. Well, what about America is happy? This is the 250th birthday of America this year, and I think we owe her some kind of respect. And if you feel the same way and you're interested in helping me, helping us on our mission, well, I'm glad you asked. I think Turbo is printing up some kind of stickers for us to sell, hand out. I'm not quite sure how it's going to work, with a QR code on them that you can scan with your cell phone, and it'll take you to a link for the Route 66 Revitalization bank account. And all funds that are donated are not only tax deductible, but they will go to our gas and hotel funds. And hopefully I won't have to stay in too many 6.6 bed bug infested motels and end up with bed bugs in my beehive. I just really like the way that sounds. Oh gosh, I guess if it happens, it won't be all bad because I can make an amazing video. But let's hope not. Anyway, if you want, you can donate to our, help us fund our trip, help us get our kicks, just kick in $6.66 or if you kick in $66, I'll send you a postcard from one of the stops that we're in. I'll shout you out if you want, as one of my sponsors that day. I don't know, I got to figure that out. But some people don't want to be shouted out. They like to stay anonymous, which I respect that too. And some people don't want to just kick in money to some random bank account, and I understand why you would be suspicious of that. And if you do feel that way, well, we have another way to raise revenue on this trip. Turbo designed these really cool passports. They're Route 66 passports for all the weird little oddities on the portion of Route 66 in the state of California. And you can get one of these passports and go to each one of these places and get a stamp in the passport. And it's like this whole really cool, fun collector's thing that he came up with. And I guess the passports are handmade by volunteers at the Victorville Route 66 Museum, which is who you call to get one. And I'll put the number in the description to this video. And as far as where we'll be every night, again, if you've forgotten, you can find the schedule, the itinerary of where we're going to be every single night for the next 3 weeks on the website, route66caravan.com. If you go up to the top, there's a menu. You can click, I think it's called schedule, and it shows you exactly where in what cities we will be on each night of the trip. And so come on down. Matter of fact, if you're in the local desert area, come to our party Sunday night, this Sunday, June 7th, at the Harvey House in Barstow. Not only will me and Turbo and William and the Edsel and the Big Texan Steak Challenge be there, but the Tin Can tourists will be camping out with all their amazing vintage trailers. So come say hi and buy a passport to help us on our mission to celebrate America in its heyday, for its birthday. I can't think of a better year. What a coincidence that the 100th anniversary of Route 66 also happens to be the 250th anniversary of the USA. Yeah, we certainly do have our problems as a country, but there's also plenty of amazing stuff, amazing landscapes, and amazing people in this country. And I think that's not only worth celebrating, that's worth preserving. And that's why we're doing this trip. Well, yeah. Also, because it's going to be a lot of fun. Not going to lie, I am looking forward to having margaritas on the beach at my campsite in Santa Monica. But it really is about preserving history and preserving a moment in time that a lot of folks think is gone forever. And that, I guess, more than getting 1 million subscribers, more than having fun, that is my real mission on this trip, to prove all the haters wrong and show everyone that there's still plenty to love about America. Oh, the bombers are still out. Okay, I guess I better go back, go inside, and get back to editing so that I will be ready to leave in this giant pickup truck with a camper on the back and a motorcycle strapped to the back, like the Beverly Hillbillies. Next Friday. Tune in. I'm guessing I'm going to start posting these shorts. Maybe I'll just start on Friday, even though the actual Route 66 caravan doesn't start until Saturday. I might as well document the whole damn Beverly Hillbillies process of camping on the beach. So tune in Friday to find out how it goes.